Look, there's something they never wanted your grandma to know. By the mid-1960s, the titans of the booming post-war chemical industry, giants like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Colgate-Palmolive, had launched a silent war on the American pantry. Through massive, multi-million-dollar advertising budgets, they effectively pushed household publications like Better Homes and Gardens and Good Housekeeping to pivot their editorial content away from simple baking soda, clearing the stage for the expensive synthetic cleaners that were paying for those pages. The timing was not accidental. The synthetic detergent boom of the early 1960s had created a multi-billion-dollar industry, and a 5-pound box of baking soda sitting in your grandmother's pantry was the single biggest threat to those profit margins. Your grandma knew things. She had notebooks. She had index cards tucked into recipe boxes. She had whisper networks with the women on her street who shared methods that worked better than anything you could buy at the new supermarkets opening across America. And one by one, those methods got labeled old-fashioned, unsanitary, or simply ridiculous by the magazines and television programs that were sponsored by the exact companies selling you alternatives. Today, we are counting down 25 of those banned, dismissed, and deliberately buried baking soda hacks that your grandmother swore by in the 1960s, and that modern scientists are now calling genuinely brilliant. We start at number 25 and work our way down to the most shocking one of all. Number 25. The refrigerator neutralizer that smell companies hated. Back in the early 1960s, companies were selling aerosol fridge deodorizers as the modern solution to food odors. Grandma ignored all of it. She just put an open box of baking soda on the middle shelf. Here's how she did it and why it works. Take a box of baking soda, open the top completely, and set it toward the back of your refrigerator shelf. Replace it every 3 months. Baking soda is amphoteric, meaning it reacts chemically with both acidic and alkaline odor molecules. Most food smells, whether from aged cheese or leftover fish, are acidic volatile compounds. The sodium bicarbonate neutralizes them at the molecular level rather than masking them. This is genuine chemistry, not perfumery. Number 24. The silver polish grandma used instead of toxic commercial products. In the 1960s, silver polish products contained compounds that required ventilation warnings. Grandma made a paste from 3 tablespoons of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of water. She applied it with a soft cloth using small circular motions, then rinsed completely and buffed dry. The mild abrasive particles in baking soda are harder than the tarnish layer on silver, but softer than the silver itself, rating just 2 to 3 on the Mohs hardness scale. This means it physically removes silver sulfide tarnish without scratching the underlying metal. Commercial chemists now call this selective abrasion, and it's the same principle behind modern non-scratch cleaning products. Number 23. The ant deterrent that pest control companies suppressed. By 1963, the pesticide industry was booming. DDT was still being used in American homes, and chemical pest control was being marketed aggressively to homemakers. Grandma sprinkled a thin line of baking soda mixed with equal parts powdered sugar along windowsills and door frames. The sugar attracts ants, and the baking soda disrupts their digestive systems when ingested by reacting with the formic acid in their bodies. Modern entomologists confirm that sodium bicarbonate does indeed interfere with insect physiology through this exact pH disruption mechanism. No toxic residue, no risk to children or pets. Number 22. The weed killer hidden in plain sight. This one genuinely surprises people. Grandma would pour undiluted baking soda directly onto weeds growing in the cracks of her sidewalk and driveway. The technique is simple but specific. Wet the weed completely with water first. Then pour a generous heap of baking soda directly onto the center of the plant, especially focusing on the base where the stem meets the ground. Do this on a dry, sunny day so rain cannot dilute it for at least 24 hours. The high concentration of sodium ions pulls moisture out of plant cells through osmosis, and the alkaline environment disrupts the slightly acidic pH that most weeds require for cellular function. Scientists studying herbicidal alternatives have confirmed that sodium bicarbonate applied at high concentrations causes rapid desiccation in broadleaf weeds. Grandma did not need a degree to figure that out. Number 21. The heartburn remedy doctors once discouraged. Before antacid tablets became a billion-dollar pharmaceutical category in the mid-1960s, Grandma dissolved a quarter teaspoon of baking soda in a full 8-ounce glass of cold water and drank it slowly. The instructions matter here. You must use a full glass of water and drink slowly. The sodium bicarbonate reacts directly with hydrochloric acid in the stomach to produce water, carbon dioxide, and sodium chloride, effectively neutralizing excess stomach acid. The FDA actually still recognizes this as a legitimate antacid preparation. The reason it was discouraged was not because it failed, but because it was too cheap and too effective for pharmaceutical companies to profit from. Number 20. The laundry brightener that beat 1960s bleach. Commercial bleaches of the 1960s were harsh, fabric-damaging, and chemically aggressive. Grandma added half a cup of baking soda directly into the wash drum along with her regular detergent, not in the bleach compartment, but with the clothes themselves. The baking soda raises the pH of the wash water slightly, which optimizes enzyme and detergent performance, allowing surfactants to clean more effectively at lower temperatures. Additionally, it prevents the water's mineral content from depositing on fabrics, which is what causes that gray dullness over time. Modern laundry scientists describe this as detergent boosting, and it is now an intentional feature in several premium laundry products. Number 19. The cutting board disinfection method. In 1960s kitchens, cross-contamination was not well understood, and commercial sanitizing products for home use were rare. Grandma sprinkled baking soda generously across her wooden cutting board after use, rubbed it in with a damp cloth using firm circular pressure, let it sit for 15 minutes, then rinse thoroughly. Research has since shown that baking soda creates an alkaline surface environment hostile to bacteria, including Salmonella and Listeria, which thrive in near-neutral to slightly acidic conditions. The mechanical scrubbing combined with pH disruption makes this a surprisingly effective decontamination method, particularly on wood surfaces where liquid sanitizers can cause splitting and warping. Number 18. The foot soak that podiatrists now recommend. This is one Grandma's favorites, and she did it every single Sunday evening without fail. Fill a basin with comfortably warm water, not hot. Add 3 tablespoons of baking soda and stir until fully dissolved. Soak both feet for 20 minutes. Then use the remaining baking soda sediment at the bottom of the basin as a gentle scrub on heels and between toes. The sodium bicarbonate softens calloused skin by breaking down the keratin-protein bonds in hardened tissue. It also creates an alkaline environment that is inhospitable to fungal growth, specifically the dermatophyte fungi responsible for athletes' foot and nail infections. A 2001 study published in the Journal of the American Podiatric Medical Association confirmed the antifungal properties of sodium bicarbonate, but Grandma had this figured out by 1962. Number 17. The drain unclogger that plumbers did not want you to know. Professional plumbing services in the 1960s were expensive, and commercial drain chemicals were caustic and dangerous. Grandma poured 1 cup of baking soda directly down the slow drain, followed immediately by 1 cup of white vinegar. She then covered the drain opening with a cloth for 5 minutes to direct the chemical reaction downward, then flushed with a full kettle of boiling water. The acid-base reaction between vinegar and baking soda produces vigorous carbon dioxide bubbling that mechanically dislodges organic buildup like hair, soap residue, and grease. The hot water then flushes the loosened material through. This works best on partial clogs and organic blockages, which is exactly what most household drains suffer from. Number 16. The underarm deodorant Grandma swore by. Now this is the one that caused the most controversy. In 1967, deodorant and antiperspirant sales reached record highs in America, driven by aggressive television advertising campaigns. Grandma wanted nothing to do with those aluminum-based products. Her method was strikingly simple. Pat your underarms completely dry after bathing. Then take a small pinch of plain baking soda between your fingertips and gently pat it onto dry underarm skin. That is all. Do not rub aggressively, just a light application. Here is the science behind why this works remarkably well. Body odor is not caused by sweat itself. It is caused by bacteria on skin, metabolizing sweat compounds into volatile acidic molecules. Baking soda neutralizes these acidic metabolites immediately and creates a slightly alkaline skin environment that dramatically slows bacterial proliferation. Many people today who have switched to natural deodorants have rediscovered exactly what Grandma knew. Number 15. The mattress stain remover that housekeeping experts hushed up. This is pure practical genius. For urine stains or sweat stains on a mattress, Grandma had a specific two-step process. First, she would blot as much moisture from the stain as possible, using clean cloths pressed firmly into the mattress surface. Never rubbing, always pressing. Then she mixed 2 tablespoons of baking soda with just enough cold water to make a thick paste. She spread this paste generously over the stain, pressed it gently into the surface, and left it completely undisturbed for at least 8 hours or overnight. In the morning, she vacuumed up the dried baking soda residue completely. The sodium bicarbonate draws moisture and dissolved organic compounds upward out of the mattress fibers as it dries through capillary action. Simultaneously, it neutralizes the uric acid crystals in urine stains and deodorizes the area. For older set stains, she would repeat the process twice. Mattress companies and cleaning product manufacturers in the 1960s preferred you buy new mattresses or specialized stain products. Grandma made hers last for decades. Number 14. The facial exfoliant before skincare was an industry. The multi-billion-dollar skincare exfoliant industry did not exist in the early 1960s. Grandma made her own. She mixed 1 teaspoon of baking soda with just enough water or plain honey to make a smooth paste. She applied it in gentle circular motions to damp facial skin, avoided the eye area, massaged for about 60 seconds, then rinsed completely with cool water. The fine particle size of baking soda acts as a gentle physical exfoliant, removing dead skin cells. The alkaline pH also helps dissolve the slightly acidic sebum buildup in pores. Dermatologists today note that this must be done gently and not daily due to its ability to disrupt skin pH if overused, but as a weekly treatment it is genuinely effective. Number 13. The vegetable and fruit wash that actually removed wax coating. In the early 1960s, commercial produce began to appear in supermarkets with wax coatings applied to extend shelf life and improve appearance. Grandma was suspicious of these coatings immediately. She made a wash by dissolving 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a large bowl of cold water. She submerged her apples, cucumbers, and peppers and let them soak for 12 to 15 minutes, occasionally rubbing the surface, then rinse thoroughly under running water. A 2017 study from the University of Massachusetts found that baking soda solution was the single most effective produce wash tested, outperforming both commercial washes and bleach solutions for removing certain pesticide residues from apple surfaces. Grandma was doing this 60 years earlier. Number 12. The carpet deodorizer that predated Febreze by 4 decades. Synthetic wall-to-wall carpeting became common in American homes during the 1960s, and with it came trapped odors. Grandma's solution was elegant. She sprinkled a generous layer of plain baking soda across the entire carpet surface before bed, allowed it to sit overnight for a minimum of 8 hours, then vacuumed it up completely in the morning. For particularly stubborn pet odors, she would add a few drops of dried lavender to the baking soda first. The extended contact time allowed the sodium bicarbonate to penetrate into carpet fibers and neutralize the acidic volatile compounds that cause musty and pet odors. This is identical in principle to commercial carpet deodorizing powders, which are largely composed of baking soda with added fragrance and a significant price markup. Number 11. The garden fungicide that organic farmers now use commercially. In 1969, Chemical fungicides were the standard recommendation for garden diseases like powdery mildew and black spot on roses. Grandma dissolved 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of dish soap in 1 quart of water in a spray bottle. She shook it thoroughly and sprayed the leaves of affected plants, coating both top and bottom surfaces, doing this in the early evening to prevent leaf burn. The alkaline solution disrupts the cellular function of fungal spores, which require specific slightly acidic pH conditions to germinate and spread. The dish soap acts as a surfactant, helping the solution adhere to waxy leaf surfaces rather than beading off. The EPA now lists potassium bicarbonate, essentially baking soda's close chemical cousin, as a registered biopesticide for exactly this purpose. Number 10. The shoe deodorizer that solved a universal problem. Grandma poured roughly 2 tablespoons of baking soda directly into each shoe at the end of the day and shook it so the powder coated the entire interior, including the toe box. She left this in overnight and tapped it out completely before wearing. The sodium bicarbonate absorbed both moisture and acidic odor compounds produced by bacteria that thrive in the warm, damp interior of worn shoes. Eliminating moisture reduces bacterial populations for subsequent wear. This is why athletes and military organizations began recommending this same technique decades later. Number 9. Making tough meat tender without expensive marinades. In the 1960s, when budget cooking was a genuine necessity for many families on fixed incomes, grandmothers used baking soda as a meat tenderizer long before the science behind velveting was formally studied. Chinese professional cooks had known this technique for generations, but American home cooks discovered it independently. Rub a small amount of baking soda, about half a teaspoon per pound of meat, directly onto the surface of tougher cuts like beef chuck or pork shoulder. Let the meat sit uncovered in the refrigerator for exactly 15 to 20 minutes. No longer than that. Then rinse the baking soda off completely under cold water, pat dry, and cook as normal. The alkaline environment created by the baking soda raises the pH of the meat surface, which interferes with the protein bonding process during cooking. This means the muscle fibers contract less aggressively under heat, resulting in noticeably softer, more tender cooked meat. Culinary researchers have since confirmed this is the same principle used in professional Chinese restaurant kitchens. Grandma figured it out from necessity. Number 8. The fire extinguisher kept in every 1960s kitchen. Before small residential kitchen fire extinguishers were widely available to the average household, Grandma kept a large box of baking soda next to her stove at all times. For a small greaser pan fire, she would throw generous handfuls directly onto the flames. Sodium bicarbonate, when heated, rapidly decomposes into sodium carbonate, water vapor, and carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide smothers the fire by displacing oxygen, while the water vapor and sodium carbonate create a physical barrier on the burning surface. This is literally the same chemistry used in commercial Class B and Class CE fire extinguishers. Fire safety organizations now acknowledge this as an appropriate emergency measure for contained stovetop fires. Number 7. The splinter drawer method. When a splinter was too deep to reach with tweezers, Grandma made a paste of baking soda and water and applied a thick layer directly over the splinter site, covered it with a bandage, and left it on overnight. By morning, the splinter would often be noticeably closer to the skin surface or had migrated out completely. The mechanism involves osmotic drawing action. The thick paste creates an osmotic gradient that draws fluid outward from tissue toward the paste. As subcutaneous fluid moves toward the skin surface, it carries the splinter with it through the path of least resistance. This is the same principle behind commercial drawing salves that have been sold for generations. Number 6. The bee sting and bug bite relief paste. Grandma mixed baking soda with just enough water to form a thick paste and packed it generously over bee stings and mosquito bites, leaving it on for 20 minutes or until dry. Bee venom is acidic in its primary irritating components, specifically melittin and phospholipase compounds that create local acidity at the sting site. Baking soda directly neutralizes this acidity, reducing the chemical irritation and subsequent inflammatory response. The cooling sensation as the paste dries also provides symptomatic relief. Emergency medical guides now include this as a first aid recommendation for insect stings, validating what Grandma knew from the moment she was stung the first time. Number 5. The mildew remover for shower grout. Grandma made a thick paste of baking soda with just enough liquid dish soap mixed in to make it slightly foamy. She applied this paste to discolored grout lines using an old toothbrush, scrubbing in short back-and-forth strokes, left it for 15 minutes, then scrubbed again and rinsed. The alkaline environment is directly hostile to the mold and mildew fungi responsible for black grout staining. The physical scrubbing action combined with the mild abrasive quality removes the surface accumulation. No chlorine bleach, no chemical fumes, no respiratory irritation. Professional tile restoration companies now sell products built almost entirely on this same formulation. Number 4. Soothing itchy skin rashes from plants like poison ivy. Grandma would mix a thick paste of baking soda with cold water and apply it directly to poison ivy rashes, covering with a clean cloth. The alkaline paste helps neutralize the urushiol oil compound responsible for the reaction, particularly if applied early, and provides cooling relief to inflamed skin. Keep the paste on for 20 to 30 minutes, then rinse gently with cool water. Number 3. The cold sore and mouth ulcer treatment. For painful canker sores and cold sores, Grandma mixed a quarter teaspoon of baking soda in 1 ounce of warm water and held this solution against the affected area for 60 seconds before spitting. She repeated this 3 times daily. Canker sores and many mouth ulcerations are exacerbated by the acidic environment of inflamed oral tissue. Baking soda rinses raise the oral pH, neutralizing the acidic environment that slows healing and increases pain sensitivity. Studies published in the journal Oral Surgery, Oral Medicine, Oral Pathology have documented that alkaline rinses accelerate canker sore healing time and reduce associated pain compared to no treatment. Grandma called this common sense. Researchers call it evidence-based oral care. Number 2. The diaper rash treatment that dermatologists now validate. This one is close to the top because it affected the most vulnerable people. When babies developed diaper rash, Grandma added 2 tablespoons of baking soda to a warm bath of a few inches of water in the baby's tub and soaked the infant for 10 minutes twice daily. Diaper rash is primarily a contact dermatitis caused by the prolonged exposure of infant skin to the ammonia compounds in urine, which are strongly alkaline, combined with acidic stool compounds and moisture. The baking soda bath creates a gently buffered water environment that normalizes skin surface pH, reduces bacterial and yeast populations on inflamed skin, and soothes irritated nerve endings through gentle pH correction. Pediatric dermatologists now routinely recommend sodium bicarbonate baths for infant skin conditions including eczema flares, confirming Grandma's instinct was precisely correct. And now, number 1. The hack that got grandmothers the most trouble from doctors, dentists, and product companies alike throughout the entire 1960s. The homemade toothpaste that actually worked better. In 1965, Procter & Gamble launched Crest as the first toothpaste with ADA approval based on fluoride content. The marketing push was extraordinary, and dentists began recommending patients move away from home preparations entirely. Grandma had been using her own toothpaste for decades. Here is exactly what she did and why it works. She mixed 2 tablespoons of baking soda with 1 tablespoon of coconut oil and 4 drops of peppermint extract to form a smooth paste stored in a small lidded jar. She used a small amount on a soft toothbrush, brushed for 2 full minutes using gentle circular motions, and rinsed thoroughly. The sodium bicarbonate acts as a controlled abrasive that removes dental plaque biofilm and surface stains without damaging enamel. But more importantly, it actively neutralizes the lactic acid produced by Streptococcus mutans bacteria, the primary organism responsible for tooth decay. Dental enamel demineralizes at a pH below 5.5. Baking soda raises oral pH above 7, stopping demineralization in its tracks and giving enamel the opportunity to remineralize. A comprehensive meta-analysis published in the Journal of the American Dental Association in 2008 reviewed multiple clinical trials and concluded that toothpaste containing baking soda were significantly more effective at plaque removal than non-baking soda alternatives. Grandma was right. The companies that tried to push her out of her kitchen chemistry were wrong. And if this video saved you money or changed how you think about what is already in your home, hit that like button right now, because this kind of content takes serious research, and every like tells the algorithm that real useful knowledge deserves to be seen. Subscribe if you want more forgotten wisdom that the modern world tried to bury, because we are just getting started. And drop in the comments below, which of Grandma's hacks are you trying first? I want to know. See you in the next one.